So, this is a bipolar finances with Key video, aka I'm Kiara, and we're talking about my finances. Both as somebody whose finances tend to go up and down in terms of how well I'm doing managing everything, who's also bipolar, which does affect your finances. Mental health does indeed affect your finances because you can't necessarily Thanos snap away a manic episode, but if you know you're gonna have one, or that they make mystical magical appearances randomly, you can save money aside to make sure you don't bankrupt yourself and things like that, like ways to mitigate the negative effects of something you can't control. Because it may not be your fault you're bipolar. Genetics is a bitch sometimes, but it is your job to deal with it and not make it everybody else's problem. That includes your future self. So, what have I been doing as I've not really been making videos for this? Recovering from the summer. I did not realize how much having my hours cut from my full-time job was going to fuck me in the ass until it did. So, unfortunate, but lessons must be learned one way or another. I'm currently attempting to recuperate. So that is including things like switching up how I'm recording my expenses, aka how much money I spend. Usually I used to just put in and out and try to make the number that I have left in my accounts on the external app that I use, because I'm not giving Rocket Money any money, or Monarch, or any of these things, because I do not want an external app to have access to my banking, period. To make sure that number in my app matches, and it's not working anymore, which is what it is. Some things stop working over time. It be what it be. But what I'm trying now is to have one app that has the amount of money I actually have to spend, and on that app I don't have to be specific on what money was spent where. It's just was spent. And then on the app that I've been using, because that one has all of my data for the previous several years, I will be using that one just to track what I'm spending, not to track how much money I have left for any particular time prior to payday. So far, it is pretty good to know. I don't think I properly conceptualized how much money I spend in a month until I did this, which is good to know. Because that information can be used to then budget accordingly. I do spend mostly on bills. It's just I keep giving myself more bills by, whenever I'm not spending on bills, spending on things like credit cards or paying fors. Especially when I don't need to. I have this thing where I don't like seeing my debit card on below a certain amount. So even if I can pay something in full in cash, I'll still use a paying for, or a credit card, because I don't want to see my debit card number go down. And that makes absolutely no sense. And I'm aware it makes no sense, but that's just how my brain is going to do things. So that's why I decided to just have the app just show me how much money I'm spending in total. Because another thing that I didn't notice until I had to for banking purposes is how much money that I make in a month. Because when I'm spending it and looking at my accounts, it doesn't feel like a lot. But looking at the number without any of the extra things added to it, there is no reason for me to be using a credit card for shit. So, there is that. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm making little candy goodie bags. We don't actually get trick-or-treaters here, which is weird because I live in a place where the demographics are elderly and children under the age of 15. But last year we got absolutely no trick-or-treaters. So this year I'm making bags so that even if we don't get trick-or-treaters, I'm literally across the street from a pantry. So it's one of those little pantry boxes. So I'll just leave it there. Like today I left some snack boxes I made over there, and I'll leave these as well. So yeah. This is a reminder to like donate money to pantries. Like, yes, it's nice to you to give food, but they need money more because the pantry has way more buying power than us as individuals would ever have to be able to get things that they need in bulk. So it is more useful to give your local food pantries money. Now, if you can't give them money and all you can give them is food, you give them food, they appreciate it regardless. However, this was leaning on a drop bottle, and the drop bottle fell. So, sorry. However, give what you can and give as often as possible, especially considering what's going on in this country. People are gonna die of starvation and other preventable ailments quite a bit more often. So if you can lend your hand to help, please do it. But yeah. So aside from the switching up how I document my spending, I'm also trying to get out of the habit of using Ubers and Lyfts as often as I do. Like on days where I work both jobs, I'm using Uber and Lyft. Miss me with walking anywhere. One, my second job is on overnight, so I'm not walking here in the dark. Absolutely the fuck not. And two, I'm exhausted and I don't live in a walkable city. So what is a 8-minute car ride is a 40-minute walk on a good day. So on days where I work both jobs, I will still be Ubering and Lyfting. And I said that because the public transportation where I live is also not at all reliable. I tried to use it this morning to go to the doctor, and that hope canceled. Luckily, I left with enough time to walk to my doctor's office. A 30-minute walk one way and a 30-minute walk back. It's like an hour total. It was nice outside, so the walk wasn't that bad. It's just I was hoping to use the bus. So yeah. I tried to use the bus yesterday as well for my date. Second date in my entire life. Don't we love it? Well, technically not, but technically it's the fourth one. But like I only really count the first. Like the other three was the same person, and it ended with him being like, yeah, friends? And I was like, yeah, friends. Because I'm never upset with making friends. I will never understand being mad at making a friend. You know how hard it is to make friends as adults? It was difficult as fuck for me to do that as a kid, let alone as an adult with bills and multiple jobs and shit. Fuck no. I will be happy as hell to make a friend. Couldn't be happier. And unlike Glinda, I'm being honest and I'm not trying to gaslight myself. Wicked's coming out soon. I'm not watching it because I already have my preferred voices for the musical. And how I am is if it's a musical and I listen to the music already, I get really attached to the vocalist. So it just doesn't leave any other version to be as enjoyable to me. There are some exceptions. Like I can watch almost any iteration of the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. That is my favorite musical of all time. But like Wicked is not. So is what it is. But yeah. So that is me trying to cut off Ubers and Lyfts, which means at least twice a week I'm walking to work. I might not walk home from work, which I wanted to not have to look down at you, but we're looking down, I guess. um, which I'm not gonna try to walk to work tired as shit. You're like, oh, why don't you take the bus? Because walking to work takes 37 minutes. Taking the bus to work takes 32 minutes. But you walk 20 of those minutes. See why it's like I'm paying money to do the same thing at that point. And buses are unreliable as shit. And at that point, just let me go home. Let me go home. Also, when I get home, I don't live far from either one of my jobs. So at the times that I'm going home, it tends to be the cheaper prices that you're going to get on any given day anyway. It's just getting to work is usually expensive as hell just due to the time of day that I go in. But yeah. So even this dad is cutting down, which is good enough for me. That, and I am trying to challenge myself to not go to the grocery store, because I go to the grocery store too goddamn much. And I know why I go to the grocery store too much, and it's unfortunate, but like I have enough food for like 6 to 8 months. I need to eat that. Like having both extra food stores, always have emergency food stores. That's just good housekeeping. But I'm doing too much. And I'm not wasting food, but I am cluttering the spaces of which I keep food to the point of which I can't keep it neat and organized. And that is how you get to the point where you're wasting food. So I'm trying to nip it in the booty before it gets to the point where I'm wasting food, because the last thing I want to ever do is waste food out here in these streets. You know how expensive produce is. Meat. Child, get out my face with that wasting food nonsense. So, yeah, that is my plans. TLDR, having 2 budgeting apps instead of 1. I'm not paying for either. It's just tracking 2 different ways, both just tracking the spending and tracking spending in relation to how much money I have left to spend, as well as trying to find, if you have advice, by the way, of how to stop spending money on debt, essentially, when I don't need to, because I don't want to see my regular accounts drop, that would be nice. And eating the food I have in the house. My goal is to not go grocery shopping for just this week. I will do my best to just not do it this week. 1 week at a time, because anything more than that is a bit much to think ahead and ask for. So 1 week at a time. So this week I intend to Uber as little as possible, which for this week it shouldn't be, what is it? Work tonight, home, work, 2 back, other job, work. Yeah, it's easier to say. I should Uber like 3 times less this week. Easier to say it that way than it is to actually go through the math of how many times I'm traveling to and fro work. So that does cut a bit, because that is, a bit. As well as, no grocery shopping. I'm sorry, I do find it difficult to focus on more than one task at once when I'm talking. So, I can multitask to the gods when I get to be quiet. But when I gotta talk and multitask, we drop in efficiency a little bit. But, that's pretty good, actually. All I have is, like, this left, which, not a piece of kibble. I don't know. maybe I can squeeze another bag. It'll be a shitty bag. We're at the point of the box where it's like, oh, shitty bag. And if you're wondering where all this candy is from, I keep candy for my online orders. So things like any secondhand, usually do secondhand stuff, but sometimes my baskets will sell online. And this is just the candy I have from that I figured, why buy candy for Halloween when we didn't really get much, if any, kids last year, when I could just use up this, and then if I need more for any orders, because I don't get a lot of them. I don't sell like a lot like I used to, so might as well use it before it goes bad. So does candy ever really go bad? Still, the principle of the matter, I guess. Speaking of, I am vending at the end of November at a craft market. My local fantasy group that I'm a part of. They're like a group where they host stuff and I join in, and it's fun. They usually do balls, but they also do like once a month smaller things as well. I kind of wanted to go to their Halloween party, but I am unable to because I work. So it be what it be. Capitalism, capitalize, I guess. But yeah. So I'm vending there. So I do have to go through and make some gift baskets. Look at the gift baskets I have already made that hadn't sold, and mess with pricing on that, as well as make some handkerchiefs and other like small handcrafts, which is so much easier now that I have that sewing machine that it's still in the box and I haven't opened yet, that I kind of need to. But yeah, that is all for Bipolar Finances with me. In terms of content, I am currently just editing and uploading things as they come. I have a couple stuff, scheduled to come out. I finally figured out what to do for membership videos, because the drink of the month thing doesn't really work when I'm not actively going out my way to buy stuff for it, and I'm trying not to buy things just for content, because I don't make money off of this. I have yet to get a paycheck. Like, yeah, I'm monetized, but I don't actually, like, I haven't been paid for this yet. And any payments I do get from this is going directly to my student loans. So I don't got the money to be spending like I got money. Like, this is not about to be a career, fam. This is just a hobby that I'm having fun with, and I'm hoping will help pay my student loans. If it does, and if it doesn't, oh the fuck well, I get to still have a hobby. So, yeah. Though I am looking at places to host a blog, because, like I mentioned previously, I don't know if it was here or not, because I then forgot the beginning of this video that quick, but I had to private all of my accounts for work. So aside from this YouTube one, I don't have any social media I can post my artsy fartsy pictures on, and this was great for like video sharing, but for the sake of just pictures, YouTube isn't the place for that. So yeah, and I'm not making another Instagram account, so blog it is. Anyway, I'm gonna go lay down while I wait for therapy to start in an hour-ish and a half, an hour and a half-ish. I made soup. Looks like made food, but it's just vegetables and water and a little bit of salt. I don't want to season them that much, so that I can season it as I eat it, so that I can have it taste how I want it to taste while I'm eating it. Also made a bunch of sandwiches, as I am attempting to not spend money. So anyway, this was 20 minutes and I was expecting it to be 6, so oh well. Appreciate y'all. Like my Alumde weekend shirt It is the 130th anniversary of my university that I went to, Notre Dame of Maryland University. I went while it was still an all-girls school, so it's not anymore as co-ed, but I went when it was still all girls. So yeah, they actually gave me this shirt for free during the alumni event because I work the alumni event for catering at the school. So they were like, "Oh, you're an alum, and you can't say less here," because they were selling the shirts for $5 because they were just getting rid of a bunch of old merchandise that they didn't need. It was so funny, just like looking at all the merch and knowing exactly what events the board of trustees had left those at. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and